Hello and welcome class 11 Commerce. Today I am going to explain to you the merits and demerits of cooperative societies from the Cooperative Society chapter of Business Studies syllabus. Now please focus on today's class. First, in the board I have written certain merits of cooperative society. Merits means advantages or any benefits of cooperative society. So each and every point I will explain you one by one. See, the first point is given easy formation. Now previously I have told you that according to the definition of cooperative society, it is a voluntary association, a voluntary organization where anybody can join with a little amount of investment for mutual benefit. This was what was the definition of cooperative society. Now, first point, easy formation means this type of society is quite easy to form, quite easy to establish, because it is a voluntary association of persons. It does not require huge amount of money or huge amount of people or very expert opinion to form. So the formation is very easy, it's very basic. So it is not complicated nature. It is not of any kind of complications is required like joint stock company do have complicated nature. So it is not complicated nature. It is very simple in the nature, and then any 10 adult person may form a cooperative society. So this is the first point of easy formation. Coming to the next point, that is limited liability. Limited liability means the liability of the members of the cooperative society is limited of their capital contribution. At the time of losses, the creditors can't have the claim over the personal property of the members who are the members of the cooperative society. So whatever liability the business has, the liability is of the business itself. The creditors of the business cannot claim the liability over their personal property of the members of the cooperative. The liability should be paid off by the business itself. The loss of the business means it is the loss of the business and not the loss of the members personally. It will not affect, the liability or the loss will not affect any members personally. Third one is continuity. After registration, cooperative society becomes a separate legal entity. So insolvency of any member does not affect the existence of this kind of society. So if somebody dies, if some member dies, if some member gets insolvent, it will not affect the existence of this cooperative society. Now next point is the democratic management. In the last class I have also explained you this point in the feature that it is democratic management. Now democratic management means each and every member of the society has equal voting right. Equal right for all the members. Democracy means equal right. So a cooperative society is managed by a democratic, it is managed in a democratic way. All the members are having equal voting rights, and the capital contribution can, irrespective of their capital contribution, that means whatever may be the capital contribution, that will not affect the voting right. Capital contribution are unequal, they can be low, they can be more, but that will not affect the voting rights. All are having equal voting rights. That is what is meant by democratic management. And the last point of merit is the open membership. Open membership means any person having common interest can become a member of this cooperative society and leave the society at his own will. He can join according to his own will, he can leave according to his own will. There is open membership and there is no such restriction in the entry and exit of any kind of member. These are the plus points, these are the merits of cooperative society. So apart from these points, you can add any other point if you feel like adding, if you feel that there are some more important points that you want to add, you can add, but if time allows. Now we come to the second segment of today's class, that is demerits or drawbacks of cooperative society. Demerits or drawbacks of cooperative society. So now we come to demerits. Demerits means the drawbacks, the limitations of cooperative society. So the first, as far as I can remember, the first drawback of these kind of society is limited capital contribution. So the first point is limited capital. All the members come from small income group people. All the small income group people form these kind of societies. So naturally the capital they want to invest is very low because they are very low income group people. Their savings are also very low, so their capital they are contributing in the business, their investment is also very low. It is formed by basically by the low income group people. So cooperative society is usually with the people with limited resources. There is no compulsion to contribute some minimum amount, that any member has to contribute 50,000 or any member has to contribute rupees 1 lakh. There is no such limitation. There is no such rule prevailing in this kind of society. So anybody can come with minimum amount of capital. Whatever capital they can contribute, they can come with that. Completely goes with this kind of society. Now comes inefficient management. Second point, inefficient management. See, the second point is linked with the first point. How that I will tell you one by one. That is, since this kind of society is formed of limited capital and limited resources, they cannot employ an expertise. They cannot employ an expert manager. The professional managers are paid high salary, and this kind of society cannot afford to keep such managers because they will be, it requires high payment of salary which they can't afford. So management, whatever people they afford, whatever manager they afford, they are not so much expert, they are paid little less according to their resource availability. So management is not as high as compared to the joint stock company. Management is not so much efficient as compared to the joint stock company. Whatever little capital they have, from that they pay the fees, and accordingly they get an inefficient management, which is quite normal. Some elected members choose the professional managers which are not so expert. Now come to the third point, that is lack of motivation. Lack of motivation. Lack of motivation is the third point. Now the group of members who manage the cooperative society get a very little incentive. There is no direct contact between the effort and the reward. In any other forms of business, if you say for the sole proprietorship or partnership or any kind of joint stock company, they give effort and accordingly they get the reward. But in this case, in this cooperative society, they give the effort, but the reward is not so much. The reward is very limited, very little incentive and very little surplus, a nominal incentive they just earn for the survival of the business. So low earning means low motivation. Low monetary incentive means low motivation. So there is always a lack of motivation to form this kind of business. Now if you don't feed yourself, if the business cannot feed yourself, if the members of the business are not satisfied, are not motivated properly, why will they indulge themselves in this kind of society? That is a big question. So lack of motivation is another important drawback of these kind of business. Apart from this, excessive government control. Excessive government control. This is also another drawback of these kind of organization. The cooperative society has to follow government rules and regulations. It is essential for this kind of business to get their accounts audited by the government. So government intervention, government interference is much more in these kind of society. Cooperative department accounts are audited by the state government. They are ruled. These are regulations that all the regulations restrict the flexibility, the efficiency in the operation of these kind of cooperative society. So this is another drawback. Conflict among the members is quite obvious. Conflict among the member is also another point, because the success of cooperative society depends directly on the loyalty and cooperation of the members. Quite often dispute arise among the managing committee and the members. There is lack of cooperation that is seen between these members of this cooperative society, and conflict arises if dispute arises. So this is one drawback of these. Apart from these points, lack of secrecy. Lack of secrecy is another point which I am not mentioning over here, but I have given all the points in a PDF with this video. Please download the PDF so that you can get all the answers elaborately. I hope whatever I have explained today, the advantages and disadvantages, you have understood properly. In my next class, I will come up with another topic of this cooperative society. Till then, goodbye.